All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Hody Jones. We're going to be exploring this leader and a deck that I put together for it. But let me give you guys a quick layout so we can just jump right into this, because this will not be one of my longer videos, I don't think, because this is my first time really exploring this leader, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, here's a comprehensive deck guide on a leader I played like 3 times. You know what I mean? So this won't be a super in-depth guide, but please do, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below on like what you think his best matchups are. What's a better version of the list that I'm going to be running today, or a list that we're going to be looking at today, things like that. You know what I mean? Please, by all means, share your thoughts in the comment section below. So let me give you a quick layout. Like I said, let's get straight into this. First, we're going to be checking out 2 different deck lists. Both are from OP06, but one is from the West and one is from the East, right? In their respective meta, and they're pretty similar, by the way. They're pretty similar, but we'll check them out and see what people are doing, and then we will go from there over to 3 games on the sim, and then we'll finish up with a walkthrough, a final breakdown, and wrap up from there on the deck list. No art critique today, guys. I do want to try to rush this video out as fast as I can, because I think it's about to start storming outside. So if you hear any thunder, if you hear any rain or anything, and hopefully I don't lose power, stuff like that, so I'm trying to kind of rush this out and get this uploaded before I lose power, if that even does happen, right? Just trying to be safe, trying to be cautious. Okay, let's dive into this, guys. We got some stuff to talk about. First things first, let's talk about what the leader does. Then we'll look at the 2 decks from the West, one from the West and one from the East, and then we'll do the games and move on from there. So here's the leader, Hody Jones. He's a green leader, not my favorite color, right? People who follow the channel know that, but any new players, green is probably my least favorite color in the game, and it's not a knock on anyone who plays green. I still play green decks, right? I play every deck in this game, but like it's like my least favorite color to play. But this leader felt very different. It actually felt more like Perona, where it was almost like a black-green leader. And I like the way that it sacrifices. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's some things I really like about this leader, considering that it is green. We'll get into it in just a second. So it's a 5,000 power, 5-life leader with a Fishman and new Fishman Pirates type, Hody Jones. Activate main. You may rest this leader. Okay, so that means you're not attacking, right? Just right away. Okay, you're not attacking. And then rest up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 3 or less, or one of their Dawn. Then, during this turn, you cannot add life cards to your hand through your own effects. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, in this deck, hey, everybody kind of knows this card in the game, right? This is one of the best finishers in the game. Well, this is where this idea comes from, the on-play effect here. So this is a 7-cost, 8,000 power rush card, Hody Jones, the character. We just looked at the leader. This is the character, and look what he does. On play, rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's character or Dawn. Then put the top card of your life into your hand. Well, that character was built for this leader, right? See, they're both from OP06. They were meant to be, they have the same name, right? Goodness gracious. How much more clear can the design element be there? It is meant to be in this deck because you don't actually lose a life in Hody Jones if you choose to use the leader's effect. Now, you can still choose to lose a life card, and you'll see as when we get into the games I play. I got 3 games on the sim lined up, right? When we get to those games, I think you're going to see, like, I don't mind losing a life with this leader because I get to draw the card. And the reason that these effects are so strong is, the reason that you have to lose a life for doing the effects of the cards in this deck is because they're so strong. So that's the balance there, but you can negate that with this leader. See, that's the idea. Okay, so I'm going to run through this list real quick and we'll talk about it. So this list is running 1 Hody and Hyozu, 4 Jinbei, 4 Hachan, that's a 2K counter, 4 Dracula Mihawk, another 2K counter, 4 Zoro, 4 Ikaros Much, 4 Kami, 2 Zio, this is another 2K counter, 4 Daruma, 2 Dosen, 4 Vanderdecken, 3 Hyozu, 4 Hody Jones, 4 whoever wins this war becomes Justice, and 2 Noah's Ark. So, first and foremost, let me just explain, Kami is in this list because she is the searcher of the deck. This is the searcher of the Fishman or Merfolk type characters. She is our searcher. That is a 4 of. 4 of auto-include. Now, there are cards in this deck that I feel like they're just backwards. Like, okay, 4 Hody Jones, we get that. We know how strong this card is. Let me walk through some of the Fishman Pirates cards for those who are not aware of them, of like what they do and things like that, because I know this is not a super popular deck. This card I'm a big fan of. Now, it's a promo card, and it is a 4-cost, 6,000 power card. Activate main once per turn. Rests up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. Excuse me. And this character gains plus 1,000 power for the turn. Then add the top card of your life to your hand. So this is a 4-cost 7K whenever you need it to be. That can also rest a 4 or less. I'm a big fan of this card, even though like they're only running 1 in the deck. I think I'm running 4 in the list we're going to look at today that I'm playing on the sim. Jinbei here. Oh, this is also a 2K counter. Sorry, guys. I went right over that. So they got 4 Jinbei, 4 Hatchan, 4 Draco Mihawk, and 2 of Zeo. So it's running 14 2K counters. So this is a 4-cost 5K, 2K counter, Fishman searchable character with on-play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. This is just a 2K counter by my standards. Like the effect, it's basically a vanilla 4-cost 5K, but 2K counter version of that. I'm not a huge fan of this effect. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't really care that much for it, but it's also not bad. Resting a 1 or less, I guess you can start fighting into their, you know, their little guys. I'm not sure. Like maybe in a green-black deck, this could be even better, but as is, I'm just not a huge fan. It's just a 2K counter in that part, and that's fine. Now, this is also just a 2K counter, and if your leader has East Blue, you can cheat it into play, but it's just a searchable 2K counter is all this is. Draco Mihawk is a 2K counter, but he can cheat into play a Muggy Kingdom type character or a slash attribute character with a cost of 4 or less other than Mihawk. So in this deck, that can cheat in this guy because this is a slash type character. It can cheat in Daruma because he is also a slash type character. And it can cheat in one other card. Here it is. Hyozu, another 4-cost character. Now let me read what this card does. 4-cost slash character, excuse me. This is a 4-cost 6K, no counter, but activate main once per turn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less, and this character gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. Then add the top card of your life to your deck. So this is yet another activate main, just like this one that rests a 4 or less, and then goes plus 1,000 for the turn. Which is kind of interesting. These are basically the same card, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it's weird. I didn't actually notice that when I put the deck together, because I think I am running both, but they're pretty much the same card. Anyway, I mean, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Is it like the exact same effect? Rest up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. Rest up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. This character gains plus 1,000 for the turn. Add a card to your life, or add a card from your life. This character gains plus 1,000 for the turn. Add a card to your life. Yeah, interesting. So I think it's like the exact same character. Very cool. All right, then we have Hody Jones. We all know what this does. Now, Daruma and Dosen are very interesting. These cards in particular, they are 3-cost 4Ks with 1K counters. They both have that stat line. But check out what Daruma does. Dawn ×1, when attacking once per turn, if your leader has new Fishman pirate types, set this character as active. Okay, that's when attacking. So you're going to attack for 5. Well, actually, it's going to be 6, but bear with me. You're going to attack for 6 and stand him right up if your leader is Hody Jones, right? And then you have to add the top card of your life to your hand. Okay, no problem. We'll just rest our leader that turn, and then we'll do this effect, you know, to smash in for 5. So it'll be, he's a 3-cost 4K, so attach one on his 5. Do the effect, he becomes a 6 that gets to attack twice. So that is very strong, guys. And if you're trying to be hyper-aggressive, just take the life card from this effect anyway. You know, just swing twice and swing with your leader. That is an option. Okay, so this card is very strong, and it's a slash type. You can cheat it out with Mihawk if you need to. And then Dosen is similar, but he's slightly different. He's not about, you know, swinging twice. He's more about protecting himself. So he is, when attacking, if your leader has the new Fishman Pirates type, this character cannot be KO'd in battle and has power plus 2,000 until the start of your next turn. Then add the top card of your life to your hand. This is going to get a few people, guys. A lot of people, you know, Hody Jones is not like a well-known leader, or it's not a well-represented leader. So let me say that. So a lot of people, they try to attack into this when I've activated the effect. It's like, sure, go ahead, attack into it. All right. So good stuff there. What else? Vanderdecken, we got to talk about a little bit because this is like the only removal you really have. You can tap down cards with Noah's Ark. This card's very interesting. But this card can actually pop cards that are tapped down if you trash a Fishman or if you trash the stage, the Noah's Ark stage. So you may trash a Fishman type card from your hand or trash a Noah's Ark from your hand or field and then KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters. So for 2 cost, you KO anything in the game. You can combo that with Hody Jones to KO literally anything in the game, like on that turn. Just tap down their character, pop it with Vanderdecken, trash a card from your hand or from the field if you have the stage. So really good stuff there. One more card we have to talk about. Everyone knows what Zoro does. We're not going to take time, you know, explaining that. That card's just really good. But Icaros Much here. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1K counter. Excuse me. On play, if your leader has the new Fishman Pirates type, play up to 1 Fishman type character from your hand. Or excuse me. Okay. If your leader has the new Fishman Pirates type, play up to 1 Fishman type character from hand with 4 cost or less. I'm sorry, that translation just beat me up, guys. And then add the top card of your life to your hand. So you see what's going on. this leader is negating all of these super powerful effects, you know, downside of having to put a card from your life to your hand. But one thing I'm going to say is, like, there's times where, like, I kind of want to take the card from life to draw a card and still be able to attack with my leader. So it becomes very tricky on how to play this leader. You'll see when I'm playing it. I will probably play it a lot differently than most people you've seen running this leader. Okay, and who knows? You know, with more practice, I'll get better at using it, and maybe I just need to practice more and more. Now let's go ahead and look at another list. This is a list from the West. It says the country's Israel. Let me see. This one was the East, right? Yeah, this one was Japan. This was all the way back in January, and then this one was in March. Okay, so this list right here is very different. They are still running a lot of the Fishman Pirate stuff down here, all the new Fishman Pirates type stuff. But then at the top, they're running 3 Yamatos. Okay, pause and read this if you don't know what it does. And they're running 2 Trafalgar Laws. That's really interesting too. I don't know what kind of tricks they're trying to do. I guess you can bounce, like after swinging twice with Daruma, maybe you can bounce him back to your hand and replay him so that he's safe. That's one possibility. Because you don't have to save Dosen. You don't have to save him. But maybe you'll pull back your Kami and then cheat out a Daruma with the 5-cost law. That's an option, you know. It's hard to say, but I don't see the best combo I can think of is if you played out let's just say you had a Kami on the field. That's it. Only a Kami. And then say you play out Trafalgar Law to bounce the Kami back to hand to play out a Draco Mihawk. You have 2 or less characters, and then you cheat out a 4 or less slash character. Maybe you'll cheat out Hyozu or something like that. That could be very interesting. Now, this list is running Arlong, which I absolutely agree with. Shutting down your leader's attack seems really important in this deck, in my opinion, because you're shutting down your leader's attack to do a lot of these effects. Not this effect, but a lot of the effects in the deck require you to do that. And this is just a huge character. Trigger can pop down a 4 or less, and this is coming down as a 4-cost 6K. It's a slash character, so you can cheat it in with Mihawk. And yeah, the effect can shut down a leader attack, which is massive. 1 Doflamingo, that's very interesting. Excuse me, this is one of those characters that is one of the strongest 10 drops in the game, especially to chain together. But this deck is only running 1 of them, which is really interesting to me, but still very solid. Okay, and everything else is about the same. Now, we're going to move over to some games on the sim. I want you guys to tell me down in the comment section below which way you're trending with your list, because I'm also going to show you my list once we get into it. Let me go full screen here. Give me just a second to get set up, guys. My bad. All right, there we go. Okay, so volume is off. Speed should already be at 2x. We're good. Now, this first game is against an Enel. And I have to say, when I was playing this deck, I thought, oh, this is going to be terrible. You know, that happens a lot of times to me. Like, I'm not depressed to play it. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is going to be a challenge. But this list wasn't as bad as I thought. Because watch how efficiently it fills up the board whenever you have that Icaros Much character in hand. Okay, let's see. Or Icaros Muhi or whatever. It looks like it's a different name on here than it was translated on the OnePieceTopDecks.com. Okay, so I countered out of that with a 1K, I think. Double 1K because I didn't have any 2K counters. I had to counter out though because he had Banish. Then I play out the Hody and Hyozu, and now I've got 3 of these cards in my hand. That's less than ideal. It makes me wish I had taken that last hit because look what card I would have lost. It wouldn't have been a big deal. Okay, but that's all right. So we're going to swing. I think we're going to use the leader effects here. We'll tap that card down. We'll attach 1 to Kami and swing 3 into Nami. If he wants to defend Nami here, I'm fine with it because I'll just swing into it again with the Hody and Hyozu. He's already down to 2 life. I don't want him to gain any more life or to lose any more life anyway. Okay, so I play out Arlong. I don't think I used the effect. No, I did not. I did not use the effect because I'm fine with him swinging into me. He plays out Enel. I'm fine taking this. I am trying to go as wide as I can into the board here. And right here, I'm going to try to eat some cards up out of hand. Because if you attack into Enel's life... hey, guys, real quick, pause. So, a lot of people have been asking me how to play into Enel. My opponent is at 2 life. There's no more attacking into my opponent, okay, until I have a full enough board and the opportunity presents itself. Because if I take 1 life away from him, he draws it, okay? It could be a trigger. It could hurt me. And then he also is going to get the card right back next turn with Yamato. So it's like, oh, yeah, but what if you attack twice? Well, he might counter out of something small, but even if I take out that first life, that rotates out as well. He cycles that with his leader's effect as well. And he's just generating value, and he's getting more and more options. So he's at 2 life. I'm not interested in attacking into his life right now unless I can end the game. Or at least take him down to 0 life for sure to force him into like a less than desirable next turn. So right here, you're going to see me swing into Enel because that is a free attack for me on the board. all of my characters are 7Ks, so we're just going to smash into this Enel nonstop. Okay, so right here, I'm going to attach one Dawn here. I don't think I used the character's effect. Yeah, I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to swing for 7 into Enel. All right, so smash. He, you know, he's going to counter out of that with a 2K counter, guys. So now I know this is the right call. Okay, swing for 7. All right, swing for... He gave me 2K counters to save this card, right? He gave me 2K counters. So now, at this point, I have a few options. Playing out Vanderdecken would be nice here. And I think I cheated out with my Icaros Muhi, or Muhai, however you say it. Okay, go ahead and do this. And then I play out the Vanderdecken from that card's effect. And I think I didn't... What was I going to say? I should have used my leader to tap down and not lose a life there. Hang on, that was one play mistake. I should have used my leader effect first, tap down the Flampe. Who cares about the Flampe? And just do that without losing a life card. That was dangerous. I think I did get to draw a 2K counter from it, but still, that was not the right play looking back. There was no reason for me to lose life there. I didn't attack with my leader anyway. You see what I'm saying? So just saying that was an absolute play mistake. But still, I think you guys are starting to see here, this is a very, very solid... I say it's a play mistake. Hang on. Did I just say my character because of it? All right, let me see. What card do I get from life? That's what I need to see. So play this card out, use the effect, cheat out Vanderdecken. Okay, I got it at R-Long. It allowed me to trash it. Okay, so it didn't technically save me anything. Let me get back to where we were. Okay, so he Rygos. I was going to say, if I had gotten the 2K counter from the effect, then it would have been well worth it. But it was still, I still feel like it was a mistake no matter what. Okay, now we got to do a little bit of math here. I'm going to swing for 6, and then I'm going to swing for 6 more, and then 7, 7, and Hody Jones. Swing for 7. This is becoming very hard to counter out of, but he's doing it. He just gave me 2. He has 2 cards left in hand. I'm completely fine with this. Okay. He cycles out his card there. So now I'm actually, instead of developing Hody Jones, I'm going to smash in with Decker Kane. Perfect. I got another card out of hand in doing that, and I was able to get some value there. And now next turn I can follow up and win the game with Hody Jones. You know, it all depends on what he gets from his life and what he's about to play. Okay, so 8 Dawn left. I don't have any way to counter out of that. I would have. We know he's going to play out Katakuri, getting the Shirahoshi back to life. And now, yes, he is going to get to draw some cards here, but that's fine. Okay, he plays out the Shirahoshi. He's going to draw 3, trash 2, recycle his life with his leader effect. I'm swinging for 7, and now he has no life left there, so we're coming in for 14. GG. And if he somehow could have countered out of that, or countered out of one of these attacks where I needed an additional attack, I still have the Hody Jones just in case. Okay. So that was the first game versus Enel. Next game up, we got Luffy, Purple Luffy. All right, volume is off, speed 2x, we're good to go. I've been seeing a lot of Purple Luffy on the ladder, guys. I've been seeing a lot of Purple Luffy on the ladder lately, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think some people just really liked the deck, the way that it ramped and stuff like that, but I'm not a massive fan of it, I'm not going to lie. But I get it. I think it's still a top-tier deck. I think I placed it in like low A or a high B whenever I was judging it for OP07. And I think, you know, it still has potential. And with the right pilot, that changes everything. Okay, so he plays out a Miss All Sunday to ramp another Dawn. I have Dosen on the board. I'm going to use his effect to draw a card. Notice I didn't try to save anything there. And watch this. I'm losing 2 life on my turn to develop a board, get aggressive, and go wide. Okay? Boom. I lost 2 life on one turn, drew 2 cards on one turn. Well, 3 cards if you count the start of turn, or the start of your turn draw card. And now my guy cannot be attacked. My dosing, I mean, he can attack him if he wants to. I don't care. But he's invulnerable. There's no way to pop him in battle. Now he can be popped through an effect, but not otherwise. Okay, I've lost too much life there, so I am going to counter out of this one and this one. Okay, use the little tiny cards I still have left in hand. Now, guys, like I said, I'm all about just like, okay, well, I am going to swing 6 into it this time. That's fine. I've got Hody Jones now that I can play out as well. Tap down the blocker, swing into it if I need to. I've got a lot of options here. So I'm going to swing 6 first, I believe. Let's see what happens. And honestly, looking back, I probably, if I was trying to be more protective, I could have swung 7 into the character, into the, what's her name? Miss All Sunday. All right, so go ahead and play out Hody Jones. Going to tap down the blocker. We're going to swing 8 into face. We're going all gas right here. I've got 4 bodies on the board, and he plays out a Eustace Kid, which is not a bad character, but it's probably not the best play in the situation my opponent's in right now. I have a 2K and a 1K in hand, not a lot to defend with, but we're going to... Oh, okay, so right here is a mistake. There was no reason for me to counter out of that, and then here I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Just block. And I wasted a 2K counter, but I guess it tricked my opponent into attacking into him again. So it's like, all right, fine, I got some value from it. He concedes there. So look what's in his hand. He has 0 2K counter, 1K or 2K counters in hand, and I'm about to come in with like 5 or 6 attacks here. Very, very nice. And if I had to get around his blocker, I did have a Noah's Ark in hand. A lot of people like that card. That's a fun one. All right, last game, guys, we got against Perona. Whoops, let me go full screen. Let me go 2x speed. This is a... this leader has potential, guys, and we're about to check out the deck list, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on it once we get to that point. Excuse me. But I will say this. As far as green decks go, this might be one of my favorite ones. I like Bonnie because it's very controlling. You know, pay 1 every single turn to just rest one of their characters is so massive. But, guys, you know, this leader, I like how he has this just all-in... This reminds me of the color black in Magic the Gathering, where, like, you're sacrificing your own life to gain an advantage. I really like that. And that was one of the reasons I liked black so much in Magic the Gathering. It's like, I'm all in. I'm willing to sacrifice this, that, and the other to achieve my goal. And this leader gave me those vibes big time. Play out the Hody and Hyozu. That card's just solid. And since, you know, I think I was running this one over the normal Hyozu because I just thought it looked cooler. But I might be running both. We'll check in just a minute. So he taps it down with a leader effect. Very, very annoying. And I do have to kind of counter out of this, to be honest, or else he could get it for, you know, or else he can play something else this turn other than developing like a Sabo. Because he could pop this. Okay, now he swings 5, so he has 6 Dawn open. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so swing 7 into my character. I am going to 2K counter out. It is what it is. And he plays out a Sabo. So again, see, if I hadn't countered out there, let me pause real quick. If I had not countered out right there, he would have KO'd my character, and then he can develop a Sabo easily. But if I did counter out, or if I did not counter out, and he KO'd my character, then he still gets to develop that Sabo. I know it kind of forces his hand, and that told me that he does not have another Ryuma in hand. At least he didn't then. He might have drawn it from the Sabo. We'll have to, you know, hopefully you guys see what I'm saying. I know that was a little bit clumsy, but if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section below. Okay, so this turn I'm thinking about going even wider. So I'm going to swing for 5 first with my leader. I think that's the plan here. Because he has a 6K blocker on the board. Oh, excuse me. I use the Hyozu's effect first. And I swing Kami into the 0-power Otama, trying to get him to tap his Sabo sideways. Now I'm going to swing with my leader, and I'm going to threaten again, like, hey, please turn your Sabo sideways so I can smash into him. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to bait him into blocking with Sabo, because that will change my entire play. If he blocks with Sabo, then I'm probably going to put 3 on my guy, and then smash in that way. Now, he still... It didn't change much because he was able to 2K counter out, but and like I said earlier, I did want to go wide this turn. But looking back, I feel like I should have smashed into Sabo there with like maybe for at least 8 to get a bare minimum of 2 cards out of hand. But then I don't get to do this play that I have on the board now. I'm very wide right now. Okay, he can have my Kami. I don't care about that. And I protected the Hody and Hyozu. But he still is able to pop most of my board. Feels bad, but that's okay. Dosen right here is about to be one of those cards. This card, Dosen is really good, guys. I don't know how else to say it. The card is really strong because if they don't have removal, then they can't do anything. And watch this, guys. I'm going to swing for 7 at leader, and this next turn you're about to see, poor guy just doesn't have enough removal to deal with the whole board, you know, including the Hody I'm about to drop. Okay, so swing for 7, swing for 8. Okay, now I'm going to play out Hody, tap down that character. A smart person would probably have tried to go on for some characters this game, I'm just saying. But watch this. Once we pass turn, I'm going to show you guys something. Always, pause. Okay, always check for lethal. My opponent, I mean, I'm not saying that they need to do this because they don't know it's in my hand. If I have a 2K, 1K in hand, this is not going to work. But if they swing 7 into life I have to take it because I don't have any counter power. And then if they swing 7 more into life with their leader, they can actually go 9 and then with Sabo, and then all the rest on the others. Excuse me, 9 with the 8 cost Sabo, and then all the rest on the 5 cost blocker Sabo. So I mean, I don't know. I know they have no way of knowing what's in my hand. I could have double 2K counter in my hand, and then that whole play would not have worked. But I think it's smart to poke first, because I don't think, okay, you can't even swing into my Dosen guy here. You can't even swing into him. He is invulnerable, right? You can't attack into him. The same idea though is true with Hody. Like, okay, if you're going to swing 8 into Hody and I have enough to counter out of it, I'm going to protect him. You see what I'm saying? So why wouldn't you just poke at face here? I don't know. That's just, it's easy for the player to say who knows what's in their hand. I do understand that, but still, I do think there would be some logic here in swinging 7 in a face with Ryuma first. Okay, he takes it, or even doing a face check first with the leader, just 5 at face with the leader. Then you can go 7, 9, 11 very easily, right? Okay, so let's see what he does here. He plays out Otama. I'm already starting to feel safer because I was sweating playing this game because I'm like, wait a minute, do I have it on 2x speed? Yeah, he's just taking a while to think. Okay, so he plays out Ryuma to pop my Hody Jones because he reduced the cost of it with Ice Age and tapped it with his leader. Or actually, he was already tapped. Now look at that. He swings 9 into Dosen. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. There's no way to get out of that. Like, there's no way to stop that. So I get this. I get an Arlong off the top, so that would have stopped all his plans to begin with. But still. Okay, he attaches 1 to Ryuma because he was going to do that anyway to swing, and then he's going to leave his blocker up and leave 1 Dawn active. But it doesn't really... Oh, for the You Can Be My Samurai. But look, I top decked another Hody Jones. So it's like, all right, here we go. I'm actually fine losing life this turn because I need my leader to be able to attack. So I don't reveal what's in my hand first. I just use the effect to swing for 7 at face because I'd like for him to use a 2K 1K or use his Sabo on the board to block with it or something like that. Uses a 2K 1K. Perfect. Now you have nothing in hand. I'm coming in for 7 and then 8. If he has it, he has it. But he went through a lot of 2K counters that game, guys. Let me go back for a second because I looked at his trash at one point. I don't know where it is. It's hard to say. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but just know, guys, this guy used like Izos, Otamas, Surus. He had a lot of 2K counters in his trash. But either way, swing for 8, GG. That's all he had in hand was Zoro, Gecko, and Momonosuke. So he was in a tough spot as well. Sometimes Sabo's going to get you there by being able to hide behind it. Other times he's not because they can tap him down or trash it or something like that. Okay, so here's the list I'm running, guys. I didn't really get to show off Fisher Tiger that much. This is a new OP07 card that just came out for us in the West. And notice I am not running the... let me type in Fishman. Let me just type in Fish and then hit green. So I was not running the other 4-cost guy. Where is he? I don't even see him in here, guys. He's the same as this guy, Hyozu. Let me see something real quick. We got to hit green. Hyo. Let me type in Hyo. This card. Oh, because it has him as Merfolk. That, when I'm putting these decks together, guys, let me move my face over. Sorry, I almost forgot. When I'm putting these decks together, I don't always look for the right type, like with something like this, with a color I'm not familiar with, like green. So let me type in Merfolk, and then I'll tell you if I'll be able to make any immediate changes. What? Why does it show up nothing? Hang on. If I go down to Mer, okay. Mer brings up Kami. We already knew about Kami. This card we were just looking for. Okay, he's an activate main. And this one's a win attacking. So that's like the big difference between these two, I guess. But I think this one might be messed up in the sim because it shows it as win attacking. Or as activate main in the sim, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Y'all tell me down in the comment section below if I'm off a little bit. I can't remember. But anyway... another card to consider is Aladdin. This is a Merfolk, but I don't find this card to be that great. It has, first of all, has no counter, and we already have enough bricks in hand with like this 4-cost 6K, the Arlong, the Hody Jones, the Arcs. I think we have enough bricks in hand. We'd have to adjust those numbers a little bit, but it is at least a blocker. It's a 5-cost 6K blocker with on KO. If your leader has the Fishman type, summon a 3-cost or lower Fishman or Merfolk type card from your hand. I know, like, trash recursion is a black thing, but I wish this card got cards from your trash, because then he'd be very good. Then you could snag cards back, like, was it Fish? Yes, Fishman or Merfolk. So you'd have been able to grab back something like Kami, Zio, Daruma, Docents, or even this blocker I was running, Hammond. That would have been cool. Or even like this. Like, imagine if it was like, okay, a summon a 3-cost or lower Fishman or Merfolk type character card from your hand, or from your trash to your hand. You know what I mean? So like you could choose one or the other. That would have made it a little better, because it is an on KO effect. Like, you know, they can, I guess they can't technically play around it unless they can just like bottom deck the card, but I think you guys see what I'm saying. I just wish it had a little bit more. Even if they had made him a 5-cost 5k with a 1k counter with that effect, I'd have been happier. Or a 4-cost 5k. That's also, like, there's not a ton of incredible 4-drops in this deck other than Hody and Hyozu, and then just the normal Hyozu. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I guess that's plenty. That's probably plenty, because we do have Arlong as well. But I'm not a huge fan of this card being a 5-cost 6k without the 1k counter. Because is this effect that much more busted than something like Hina? Because Hina, let me take off green. Let me type in, I'm just going to type in blocker and let it come up with stuff. Like, look at Hina. This is like Navy's version of what we just saw. And this is every on block. So it's a 5-cost 6k with the 1k counter and blocker. And then on block, choose that one of your opponent's characters costs 6 or less, and then rest it. Or the chosen character cannot attack during this turn. That's fine. Same thing with Sabo. I mean, would anyone consider that card stronger than Sabo with its effect? I seriously doubt it. I mean, some people might. Let me type in. Let me do look for a blue one. So again, a 5-cost 6k would be like X-Drake. Like, this is the equivalent of their version of that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't understand sometimes when it comes to like balancing in this game. I don't even see the card now. I might be looking right past it. No, I'm just not seeing it. Did I? Hang on. Excuse me. No, it's a blocker. Maybe I just didn't see it. But it's a 5-cost 6k with no 1k counter. And that's like a very standard stat line for this kind of blocker package with an effect. So it does make me very sad. And this is not even a on-play effect. Like, this is an effect you might not even get off. You know what I mean? They might tap down your character. They might bottom deck it or something like that. So... but yeah, other than that, guys, this list is pretty straightforward. I am a little bit low on 2k counters. Like, I'm only running Zeo and Hatchan. So I think moving forward, I would like to maybe go down 1 or 2 of these Fisher Tigers. I'm trying to play this deck way more aggressively. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not saying it cannot be built to be more controlling, but if I were to build it more controlling, I probably would actually get rid of these Noah's Arks for something like the 10-cost Doflamingo that we saw in one of the decks. Because I just like being able to drop down this Daruma or this Dosen, and then follow up the next turn with where's the 5-cost guy? This guy, Ikaros Muhi. Man, he just drops characters into play, you know, and it allows for this really nice setup turn to be able to swing super wide, and super aggressively. But I would like to go up 2k counters. Maybe I'm going to I could drop this blocker even for this other blocker. That is an option, but then I get more bricks in my deck. We'll have to see. But I would like to drop this card because every time I drew it, I don't think I even wanted to play it. I might have played it 1 or 2 games, but that's about it. Kami's nice because she's a searcher. Arlong was actually pretty good. I think this card is solid, and it does make me almost want to replace this Hammond card with Mihawk, the 3-cost 4k, 2k counter, cheat out a 4 or less slash attribute character. Because then I could also even go up the other... well, I don't know. I'll probably keep just the... Actually, let me see something. Where is this guy? I might even just swap this guy in if this is when attacking. I'd rather have it as an activate main. So that would be one immediate change I would probably make to the deck. But everything else I was pretty happy with. Hody Jones, we know what he does. Vanderdecken I might go down to 2 of because it just didn't come. I don't think I used this card's effect but 1 game, and it was actually in the Enel game. So it's not like it was bad. Or was it the Enel game? It was one of the games we watched on the sim today. It's not like this card is bad. I'm just not really impressed by it. So I'd like to go down to maybe 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. So as far as like going into the future with this deck, like let me see something real quick. Take off green, go into 08, and look at the green cards. This is all the green cards from OP08 and a few other cards as well. Now in 08, Hody Jones did not get any support. It was all about the new Minx tribe support. But at the same time, I don't know, let me see something. Yeah, this is cheating out Minx stuff. This character could be good in there. You know, like maybe this is a card to include or to mess with in Hody Jones. This or Bonnie. There's a 5-cost Bonnie from OP07 that could be decent as well. But I don't think I don't know how to say it. Carrot and Bonnie seem like they're way more interested in like controlling the board, whereas this the way that I'm playing this deck is just straight up aggro and attrition. So I would love to see another card similar to this Hody Jones come up in the future, or even a card like this Dosen, a card with resilience. And like I would love to see it be something like, okay, you know, where you have to lose a life from the effect, so you have to use your leader's effect to like compensate. But I'd love to have a card that's like a 5 cost, even like a 5 cost 7K blocker with no counter, and then has the ability, or it has on play, you know, when this card comes in, when this card comes into play, lose a life card and it cannot be removed from the field until the start of your next turn or something like that. You know what I mean? I worded that horribly, but y'all understand what I'm saying. Some type of resilient character that we can get some more benefits from the leader's effect. Because one thing I will say right now is a lot of times I just like taking the life. You know what I mean? Now, one time, I know in one of the games we saw it was just a straight up mistake. I shouldn't have used it like that. But generally speaking, I'm a big fan of just like losing the life from this card, or from the effects in the deck, and still swinging with the leader and just going super heavy aggression. So I would like to see more cards like this one, Ikaros Muhi, excuse me, especially like in a 2K counter package. Let me type that in real quick. C2000 for counter 2000. Izo's not bad. This Jinbei is nice because it's searchable and it's a 2K counter and it's a 4 cost 5K body if you need it. But I would really like to see something more like this effect, the Mihawk effect, on a Merfolk body that can cheat out one of these 4 cost characters in the deck. And even make it, make it where like you have to lose a life for the effect. So that way you have to use your leader's effect and just keep things relevant that way. Or if you're feeling desperate, you don't use the leader's effect and you gain a life in that way. But yeah, that's probably about it, guys. I think that's all the deck really needs. It will depend on how you want to build it. How do you build your Hody Jones deck, and how do you prefer building it? Do you like the more aggro variant that I was running, like aggro to mid-range where you just kind of run them over? Or are you more interested in the mid-range to control variant where you're trying to like just lock down the board, eat up their characters, and go the slow and steady route? I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I think it's more of a player preference thing. But I was really enjoying the rush route. And that's what makes me kind of want to hop off Fisher Tiger. Because read this card if you don't know what it does, guys. Okay, on play, if your leader has Fishman or Merfolk type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. And then this character can attack your opponent's characters on the turn it's played. So you can rest one of their characters and bash into it like right away. But I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like the resting character part. That part is great. That part is great. But I wish there was a extra stipulation on there that allowed you to rush if you lose a life, and then you could combo that with your leader. I guess that's the main thing that I wish that it had, because I would like that. Then I would really like this card. But it ended up being like, okay, what is the direction I'm going for here? I just want to fill out my board, kind of ignore what my opponent's doing, and just start going face. So speaking of that, as far as like pros and cons go, pros is I think this leader's probably pretty good into yellow because it goes wide very, very efficiently. Not to say yellow can't beat it. I'm just saying I think it has a decent matchup into yellow. Into blue, blue and black are probably its biggest weaknesses. Blue will have lots of bottom decking, and there's only one card in this deck with actual rush. And then the same thing with black, like this, they don't bottom deck in black, but they're going to KO everything you put down. That's just the nature of Lucci right now. That's the nature of the game. What else? That's it, guys. That's all I have to say. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. The other matchups, Red Purple Law, I guess I should at least mention that. Red Purple Law is Red Purple Law, guys. I think this deck probably can battle against it because it is a 5-life leader. But again, let me say that. Against certain decks, you just can't go all in like I was doing, where it's just like go as fast as you can, as wide as you can, as hard as you can. Against a deck like Red Purple Law, you're just not going to outpace them. So I think in that situation, you do have to use your leader effect to its fullest. And see, maybe I will leave this card in for that matchup so I can rest their big characters and just start running into them with my board, starve them out of the cards from their life for a little bit, and try and win in that way. But we'll have to see. And Hody Jones is just really good in this deck because I can play it aggressively to tap down their stuff and not lose a life. Right, so that is one big change I'd like to make right away. I want to go up a 2K counter instead of this Hammond card. I just don't think this is practical in the current format. Not to say you can't run one or two of them. It's always nice to have one or two little blockers you could throw in. But yeah, I think that's probably the main thing. I also, as much as I like this card, it's very spicy. I just didn't really see it come up. I didn't see an opportunity come up to use this card, unfortunately. So you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below about it. All right, that's it, guys. I'm done. Done rambling. A little bit shorter video for me when it comes to these deep dive style videos, but I do plan on revisiting this leader in the future and taking a deeper dive into exploring what this leader can do. Maybe even trying a more mid-range to control route the next time. But I think the leader needs just a little bit more support, especially like I was saying. I would love for it to get even more aggressive support. Like that's what I like. I either want more cards that help me fill the board out with this deck, or I want more cards that allow me to run in fast, swing fast, with Rush or something like that. Cards like Fisher Tiger, cards like Hody Jones. All right, I'm done. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw out the playmat page, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who supported me buying the playmat. I still have some left for those who are interested, but the VV Pirates playmat supporters, thank you guys so much. Y'all are awesome. And also for all the patrons out there, any ways you guys help me, I appreciate. And a big shout out to these guys who go above and beyond and help me out in the ways that they do on the VV Pirates patron page. I love that alliteration. What else? Oh, one more thing, of course, guys. I always like to finish the video with this. Thank you so much to anyone who just watches the videos. If you're liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, just watching the video, just viewing the video, you're helping me out, so I really do appreciate you guys. All right, if you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.